talking about the us like a history book, with that distant, polished, already gone look. Every I love you has a used to attach, like a fire that died while I held the last match. I'm still in the present, I'm still in the room, but you're speaking of we like a flower in bloom that withered a season ago. Oh, it's killing me slow, the way that you fence, the way that you love me in past tense. I'm was and I'm had and I'm once upon a time, while you're already moving to a different rhyme. I'm a habit you broke, a story you told, a heart in the present, left out in the cold. Cleaning the kitchen and clearing the air, like you've already scrubbed out the fact I was there. You say we were happy and we had a good run, but I'm still standing here and I'm not even done. How did I become a memory while I'm still in your sight? How did you turn off the day and just call it the night? Don't put me in a box, don't label the shelf. I'm not a version of some former self, but your verbs are all sharp and they're cutting me deep, leaving promises here that you no longer keep. I'm still here, I'm still his, but you've already finished the business of this. Yeah, you loved me once. You love me in past tense. I watched your taillights bleed into the rain, a slow motion puncture of a different kind of pain. I thought that was the finish, the closing of the book, but you're in every mirror, everywhere I look. I've walked away 1,000 miles, or so I like to say, but I'm still standing in that driveway from a year ago today. It's the goodbye that never ends, a circle in the road that never quite bends. I say the words, I lock the door, I try to let you go, but the gong just keeps on moving, painfully and slow. Every overread is a lie I'm forced to tell. I'm just a permanent resident of this long farewell. Your name is like a pebble inside of my shoe, a constant little reminder of the missing parts of you. I've deleted every photo, I've thrown away the clothes, but how do you kill a feeling that nobody else knows? It's a sunset that's frozen right before the dark, a never-ending ember that refuses to spark. I dug a shallow grave beneath the willow tree for the version of the girl you used to be. I wrapped our letters in a weathered shroud to keep the secrets that we spoke out loud. I piled the dirt and I smoothed the grass, watching the shadows of the seasons pass. The neighbors think I'm moving on so well, but they can't hear the ringing of the bell. Underneath the surface of my steady skin is the heavy weight of where you've always been. It's a love I keep buried deep, a broken promise that I had to keep. I locked the vault and I hid the key, so the ghost of you won't follow me. But in the quiet when the lights are dim, I feel the soil shaking at the rim. It doesn't die, it just doesn't sleep. This love I keep buried deep. I walk the streets and I wear a mask, doing every little soulless task. But sometimes the roots wrap around my heart, tearing the present and the past apart. A scent of rain or a certain song tells the dirt exactly where I belong. Is it mercy to hide the scars, or am I just counting prison bars? I thought the earth would hold you down, but I'm still suffocating in this silent town. It's a love I keep buried deep, a broken promise that I had to keep. I locked the vault and I hid the key, so the ghost of you won't follow me. But in the quiet when the lights are dim, I feel the soil shaking at the rim. It doesn't die, it just doesn't sleep. This love I keep buried deep, under the snow, under the clay. It's never really going away, just 6 feet under my everyday, buried deep, so deep. Standing in the center of the life we used to lead, but the walls have grown thin and the colors start to bleed. I say your name just to see if the air still knows the sound, but it bounces off the ceiling and it shatters on the ground. There's a ringing in my ears like a bell that's lost its tongue, the ghost of every I love you that we ever left unsung. Now I'm just a hollow shell, a canyon in my dark, with a heart full of echoes and a cold dying spark. Every beat is a vibration of a door you slam shut. constant rhythmic carving of a deep-seated cut. I'm loud with the silence of the things you didn't say, just a heart full of echoes since you walked away. I hear you in the kettle when the steam begins to rise. I hear you in the maybe of the wind's lonely sighs. I try to fill the spaces with the static on the screen, but the noise only highlights the us that's in between. You're a song on the radio that's stuck on a loop, a shadow in the garden where the heavy lilies droop. It's the reverb of the heartbeat that's no longer there, a symphony of nothingness I'm forced to wear. I'm shouting at the emptiness till I'm out of breath, but the echo is the only thing that's faithful unto death, still ringing, still hollow, a path of lonely sounds that I'm forced to follow. Yeah, it's just me and a heart full of echoes, just echoes.
I'm tracing dusty patterns on the baseboard wood, right where your favorite winter boots once stood. The silence here is louder than a thunderclap, a missing piece in a shattered map. I turn my head when I hear the floorboards creak, but it's just the settling house making me weak. I'm holding my breath just to hear a sound, anything to prove you're still around. But the air is heavy and the shadows long, in the echoes of our unfinished song. It's just whispers in an empty hallway, the ghosts of things we didn't say. I'm chasing voices through the dark, looking for a flicker or a spark. But the walls don't talk, they only stare at the hollow space where you used to be there, lost in the architecture of goodbye, with whispers in an empty hall. There's a lingering sense of your rain so cold, and a half-finished draft of a goodbye note. I walk the length of this hollowed frame, waiting for the walls to speak your name. But every doorway is an open mouth, leading me further and further south. Did you leave a message in the cracks of the paint, or am I just praying to a fading saint? The draft is whispers in an empty hallway, the ghosts of things we didn't say. I'm chasing voices through the dark, looking for a flicker or a spark. But the walls don't talk, they only stare at the hollow space where you used to be there, lost in the architecture of goodbye, with whispers in an empty hall. In an empty hall. I thought I heard you call, but it's just the wind against the wall. Just a breath in the void, just a heart destroyed. Whispers in an empty hall.
I finally got the courage to wash the pillowcase, to scrub away the lingering scent of your embrace. The day is a battle, but I'm holding the line, convincing my shadow that I'm doing just fine. But the sun starts to dip and the dread starts to grow, 'cause I'm heading to a place where I can't tell you no. So please, don't come back in my dreams. Don't stitch me together just to rip out the seams. I can't spend my nights in a world where you stay, only to wake up to the debt that's unpaid. I'm begging for darkness, a sleep that is deep. Don't be the secret my subconscious keeps. In the hallway of my mind, you're still laughing and young, with the I love you still warm on the tip of your tongue. We're dancing in a kitchen that we already left, committing a nightly emotional theft. But the alarm clock is coming to steal you away, and I can't survive 2 heartbreaks every day. Stay out of the shadows, stay out of the light. Don't haunt the only place where I'm holding you tight. It's a cruel trick of chemistry, a ghostly design to feel your heartbeat when you're no longer mine. Leave me to the quiet, leave me to the gray. Don't bring back the color just to take it away. Please, just let me sleep. Don't come back in my dreams. I'm leaning my ear against the plaster and the paint, chasing a sound that's becoming so faint. It's the brush of your sleeve or the click of your shoe. The house is a museum of the things you used to do. The wallpaper's peeling like a scab on a knee, hiding the secrets of who we used to be. Now it's just whispers in an empty hallway, echoes of a forever that didn't go your way. I'm catching my breath in the draft by the door, searching for footsteps that don't touch the floor. The silence is screaming, the shadows are tall. I'm just a ghost story lost in the hall. I walked past the kitchen and I thought I heard a laugh, but it was just the wind cutting my heart in half. The dust motes are dancing in a sliver of light, like tiny reminders of our last bitter fight. I reached for the air where your shoulders should be, but the hallway just stretches away from me. Is it a memory or is it a haunt? Is it the love or the lack that you want? I'm talking to corners, I'm pleading with walls, waiting for a voice that never quite calls. Just a whisper, then it's gone. The hallway is long and the night's moving on. I'm still listening, but there's nobody home. Just the whispers and me all alone.
I kept the invitation in a velvet box, behind the deadbolt and the heavy locks. We were building castles in the shifting sand, holding destiny in the palm of our hand. But the blueprint faded in the morning rain, leaving nothing but the geometry of pain. The vows we whispered, a shattered glass, cutting through the hours as they slowly pass. I'm standing in the rubble of a sacred place, looking for a glimmer of your fading face. I was there when forever fell apart, the seismic snap of a breaking heart. A million years collapsed in a single breath. A quiet life met a sudden death. We had the stars all lined up in a row, but the gravity let go and let the darkness grow. Now I'm just a spectator at the end of the art, watching when forever fell apart. The calendar calendar is lying on the bedroom floor, marking anniversaries that aren't there anymore. Your signature is ghosting on the bottom line, a fossil of the days when you were mine. We promised the infinite, we promised the vast, but we're just dust in the shadow that the future cast. Is there a salvage yard for broken dreams, for the bursting threads and the ripped up seams? I'm sifting through the ashes for a single spark, but it's getting cold and it's getting dark. I was there when forever fell apart, the seismic snap of a breaking heart. A million years collapsed in a single breath. A quiet life met a sudden death. We had the stars all lined up in a row, but the gravity let go and let the darkness grow. Now I'm just a spectator at the end of the art, watching when forever fell apart. Falling, breaking, everything we were taking. It's just a breeze now, just history. The clock has stopped at the start of when forever fell apart.
I check the clock on the bedside table, the ticking sounds like a gavel coming down. We were living on a lease we couldn't afford in a quiet corner of this hollow town. I knew the interest would be heavy, I knew the debt would come due, but I spent every second like a millionaire just by lying next to you. Now I'm paying back the minutes on borrowed time with the jagged little pieces of a broken heart. We stole a little heaven, committed such a crime, thinking we could stop the finish before the start. The calendar is empty and the sand is on the floor. I'm bankrupt in a hallway, knocking on your door. It was borrowed time and a broken heart. Ink is dry on the us we used to be, a temporary loan I thought was mine to keep. Now the silence is the collector coming round while the rest of the world is fast asleep. I trade 1,000 futures for one yesterday, before the grace period withered all away. They say nothing lasts forever, but they don't tell you how it ends, with a stack of unpaid memories and a soul that never mends. I was living in the almost, I was breathing in the near. Now I'm just the interest on the love that isn't here. The debt is paid in shadows, the time has all run out, and I'm the only thing left to wonder what it was about. Just this broken heart. This broken heart.
I'm scrubbing the corners of this cluttered brain, trying to bleach out the scent of your name. It's tucked in the folds of my favorite shirt, a jagged little souvenir that stays in the dirt. Every time I close my eyes, the movie starts to play in high definition, in a haunting kind of way. Oh, you're the memory I wish I could forget, the one I haven't figured out how to outrun yet. You're a stain on the silk, you're a ghost in the hall, the only part of us that refuses to fall. I'd trade all the good just to lose all the blue, to finally be empty of the memory of you. I see the diner booth where we sat until 4, and the way your keys rattled when you opened the door. People say cherish it like it's some kind of prize, but they don't see the way it burns behind my eyes. It's a beautiful poison, a sweet tasting lie, a part of my history that won't ever die. I've tried the whiskey and I've tried the new faces, I've tried to get lost in 1,000 new places, but you're the ink in the skin, you're the scar on the bone, the loud kind of lonely when I'm all alone. Just a flicker, just a sting, the heavy cold weight of a weddingless ring. Yeah, you're the one thing left, the memory I wish I could forget.
I'm staring at the staff, but the notes won't sit still, like they're trying to run from this bitter pill. I've used every metaphor, every rhyme for the rain, to try and find a melody that justifies the pain. My fingers are tired and the ink's running dry on the story of how we let a good thing die. And this is the last song I wrote for us, the final bit of magic I'm willing to trust. I'm closing the piano, I'm putting down the pen. I can't keep on asking whether we went and when. Consider this the coda, the bridge that fell down, the last time I'm singing your name through this town. The bridge is too heavy and the verses are long, a desperate attempt to prove I wasn't wrong. But a song can't hold you, and a song can't stay. It just hangs in the air, then it withers away. I'm tired of the harmony we couldn't quite hit. I'm tired of the candle and the way we let it quit. No more minor chords to describe how I feel. No more searching for lyrics to make the hurt real. I've sung you to sleep and I've sung you to ghosts, but the silence is the thing that I'm dreading the most. The final refrain, the end of the track. I'm playing the exit and I'm not looking back. Yeah, this is the last one, the last song I ever wrote for us.
I held the handle like a dying wish, staring at the water in a broken dish. I memorized the crease beside your eye, one last anchor for a long goodbye. My fingers trembled as they slipped away from the only hand I wanted to stay. The fighting was a storm we both could brave. The silence was the only thing we couldn't say. But the heaviest weight wasn't the goodbye kiss, it was the sudden cliff of the future I'll miss. The saddest part was letting go, watching the river of us finally flow. Not the angry words or the slammed shut door, but the opening of my heart. watch the empty floor. No shadow following me out the door. I see your ghost in every lighted hall, but there's no frame to catch you if you fall. The hardest lesson that I ever learned is how beautifully the bridges burn. I could have held on until my knuckles turn white, fighting for the wrong just to keep it right. But love isn't a cage, and it isn't a chain. Sometimes it's just the release of the pain. The saddest part was letting go, watching the river of us finally flow. Not the angry words or the slam shut door, but the opening of my hand to what isn't anymore. It's the hollow space where your palm should be, and the tumbling sight of life for me. Yeah, the hurt was fast, but the ache is slow. 'Cause the saddest part was letting go, just opening my hand, watching somewhere else. I knew the saddest part was finishing without you. Letting go, it was the saddest part.
I'm tracing circles in the dust on your vanity, looking for a version of the world that still has you and me. The sun comes up, but it doesn't feel like morning. Just another day of living through the quiet after the warning. I try to wipe the salt away to find a clearer view, but the moisture's in the marrow, and the marrow's full of you. Now I'm stuck in a season where the tears don't dry, under a heavy gray and unmoving sky. They say time is a river that'll wash the salt away, but I'm drowning in the puddle where your shadow used to lay. Every memory is a leak that I can't seem to guide, living in a canyon where the tears don't dry. Your side of the bed is a shoreline of white, where I wait for the tide to come back in the night. I've gone through the tissues, I've gone through my sleeves, but the heart keeps on weeping for the ghost of what leaves. It's not a sudden storm, it's a permanent rain, a slow motion flooding of a deep-seated pain. I'm waiting for can't go. Yeah, I'm living in the place where the tears don't dry. They never
I looked in the mirror and I didn't know the face, just a collection of shadows taking up your space. I traded my colors to keep your world bright. Now I'm fading to gray in the middle of the night. I memorized your coffee, the way you take your tea, but I can't remember the last thing I did for me. Oh, I lost myself loving you. I gave up the sky just to keep you in the blue. I chipped away my edges to fit inside your palm. Now I'm the wreckage left after the storm. I built you a palace and I stayed in the hall until there was nothing of me left at all. My friends call my name and it sounds like a lie, a ghost of a person just passing them by. I used to have dreams, I used to have a voice, but I quieted the static to be your only choice. I'm a map with no landmarks, a book with no name, just a pile of ash where you used to be flame. How do I find the pieces you didn't want to keep? How do I wake up from a 4-year sleep? I'm a stranger to my own heart, a guest in my skin, trying to find where you end and I begin. I'm searching the debris, I'm looking for a sign of the person I was when I thought you were mine. But I'm empty. Yeah, I lost myself loving you. I turned the key and walked into the dark, searching for a reason or a tiny spark. The curtains haven't moved since you walked out, but the walls are screaming what I'm scared to doubt. I'm standing in the kitchen by the leaky sink, with too much time and bitter things to drink. You'd think the vibration would eventually fade in this empty theater that we both made, but the frequency is caught in a looping track, and I'm shaking from the sound of you not coming back. Your goodbye still echoes in the hall, bouncing off the paint and hitting every wall. It's a shattered symphony of one final word, the loudest thing I think I've ever heard. It's in the shadows, it's in the dust, and the creaking iron and the creeping rust. The clock has stopped, but the ringing grows, because your goodbye still echoes. I try to suffocate the memory with noise, but I can't escape the timbre of your voice. It's underneath the floorboards, it's behind the glass, watching every ghost of the future pass. You spoke it softly, you spoke it clear, now it's the only thing I ever hear. Is there an insulation for the soul to fill this vibrating and hollow hole? I'm drowning in the reverb of your name, and nothing in this house will feel the same. Your goodbye still echoes in the hall, bouncing off the paint and hitting every wall. It's a shattered symphony of one final word, the loudest thing I think I've ever heard. It's in the shadows, it's in the dust, in the creaking iron and the creeping rust. The clock has stopped, but the ringing grows, because your goodbye still echoes, still ringing, still haunting. The end is all I'm wanting, but the sound won't die. Your goodbye, it's the only thing left in the room. Echoes, still echoes.
I left the porch light burning, thinking you'd be home by 10, but the driveway's just a ribbon of the might have beens. Your keys are on the counter right beside your half-filled glass, while I'm counting every second, watching every shadow pass. There wasn't any argument, no slamming of the door, just a sudden lack of breathing where the life was once before. And oh, you vanished without a sound, like a feather in a storm that never hit the ground. No goodbye in the hallway, no sorry on a page, just a bird that left the window of a wide open cage. Now the silence is a 'cause you vanished, darling, you vanished without a sound. I'm checking all the floorboards for the echo of your feet, but the air is thin and hollow and the stillness is complete. It's the not knowing that's killing me, the why that's left to rot. I'm tied to every memory while you untied every knot. Did you evaporate like mist? Did you melt into the gray? Or did you simply find a version of yourself that walked away? If you'd screamed, I could have heard you. If you'd cried, I could have stayed. But you left me in a vacuum where the light begins to fade. It's a ghost story without a ghost, just a vacancy in time, a heart left mid-sentence, waiting for a rhyme. Not a whisper, not a trace, just the terrifying quiet of your empty space. Yeah, you vanished without a single sound. I'm mapping the patterns of light on the hardwood floor, waiting for a silhouette to walk through the bedroom door. The sun hits the angle where you used to stand, and for a second I'm reaching for a phantom hand. But the light shifts its weight and the image decays, leaving me lost in a sun-drenched haze. I'm just chasing the shape of your shadow, running through a field that's gonna follow. I'm grasping at outlines, I'm hugging the dark, trying to find fire from a long extinguished spark. You're a trick of the vision, a ghost on the wall, and I'm just the echo of a name you don't call. The street lamps are flickering, sketching you in gray, a charcoal reminder of the girl who walked away. I see you in the corner of a crowded coffee shop, but when I turn my head, the heartbeats stop. It's a cruel kind of hunger, a thirst for the mist, for a face made of smoke that I never quite kissed. I'm just chasing the shape of your shadow, running through a field that's gone follow. I'm grasping at outlines, slog in the dark, trying to find fire from a long extinguished spark. You're a trick of the vision, a ghost on the wall, and I'm just the echo of a name you don't call. If I run fast enough, can I catch the eclipse? Can I taste the I love you that fell from your lips? But the faster I move, the further you fade, just a hollowed out memory that the moonlight made. Still chasing, still empty, just a shape on the ground where you used to be. Yeah, I'm chasing your shadow, but I'm the only one I see. I looked up at the ceiling of the world tonight, waiting for that silver spark, that familiar light. But the velvet's just a blanket, heavy and grand, like a map of a country I no longer understand. We used to name the clusters while we lay on the hood, believing in a forever like we thought we should. But it's the way the stars forgot to shine, the moment that your hand stopped holding mine. The sky went dark to match the hollow in my chest, like the universe decided it was time to take a rest. There's no guiding light to lead me back to you, just a midnight sky that's broken through and through. The moon is just a pale ghost wandering alone, reflecting back a coldness that I've never known. I'm reaching for the glitter, but I'm catching the dust, watching all they always turn into must. Did they burn out from the sorrow? Did they blink and lose their way? Or did you take the radiance when you refused to stay? I'm standing in a vacuum where the sparks used to fly, screaming at the emptiness of a pitch black sky. It's a cosmic kind of lonely, a celestial kind of ache, when even the heavens have a heart that can break. No light in the distance, no North Star to find, just the dark constellations you left in my mind. Yeah, it's just the way the stars stars forgot to shine. The sky woke up in a different shade of gray, like the sun forgot to finish painting the day. I'm staring at the breakfast table set for two, stumbling through the habits I still have of you. The radio is playing something soft and low, but it feels like a dirge everywhere I go. And it's just blue days without you, a heavy kind of color I can't look through. The morning is a bruise and the evening is a sigh. Underneath the weight of a cobalt sky, there's no storm coming, just a steady cold you, living through the rhythm of these blue days without you. I tried to wear your sweater just to feel the heat, but the wool feels like winter and the taste is bittersweet. I'm walking through the park where the leaves are turning cold, feeling every story that we never got to fold. Every face in the crowd is a blur of indigo, reminding me of how much I didn't want to let go. They say that blue is the color of the deep, of the secrets and the promises we couldn't keep. I'm drowning in the sapphire of a memory so vast, anchored to a ghost in a saturated past. Fade to navy, fade to black, waiting for a light that isn't coming back. Just another morning, another shade of blue, just blue days.